everybody! General Discord here, and welcome back once again to Discord in Minecraft. It's a bit of a foggy day. Out of distance, as you can see, I've got my render distance turned down pretty low because I'm having problems in my single-player world here. Back behind me there, you can see the soccer stadium, soccer field we built last time. I'm going to build some stands for that. Just not in this episode. I think that's going to be an episode a couple weeks from now. Because next week I will not be around to do such things. I mean, I'll put out an episode next week for sure, and I will record it next week, but it's not going to be a very build-intensive one. Plus, I have a special plan for it, since, that week is a special week and everything like that. But anyway, today we're not going to be going building or anything like that, so you don't have to worry about that. Not going to be going exploring, so you don't have to worry about missing out stuff. No, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be mining cobble today. And to make up for it, I will be talking to you. I will tell you some stories of some of the favorite places that I have ever been in my life. And I will do that because I'm getting ready to go on vacation next week. On the weekend, I'm going out of the state for a couple days. And then after that, I will be going up to the mountains to my parents' house to just spend some time up there with my dad and enjoy some things. So I figured that since I'm doing this whole episode here where I'm going and strip mining, doing non-exciting things, I figure I might as well talk to you about stuff that I've done, tell you a little bit of a story time. We're going down into the mines down here, by the way, and I'll show you the strip mine that I have set up. But yeah, since we're not doing anything really exciting today, this will be a talky episode. You guys can treat this like a podcast if you like. You can just listen to my voice as I talk, my deep and beautiful manly voice, which will probably not be deep, beautiful, or manly the entire time that I'm talking, but that's just how it goes. So anyway, down here, this is the area that I have been working on completely hollowing out. There's probably some dangerous spots here. You may run into a few monsters here, but that's okay. I don't really care about them. See, we already got a zombie. Already got a zombie coming at us from somewhere. He's up above, maybe. Trying to figure out a way to get to us. So anyway, as I said, I am going on vacation. Going on vacation in just a few short days. I am going up to Wyoming. For those of you who, for whatever reason, do not know, I live in Colorado, and Wyoming is literally like an hour and a half away from where I live. So I'm going up there with some friends. We're going to go camping for a couple days, and I'm really looking forward to it because this will actually be the first time that I have left the state of Colorado in almost 6 years. I've taken a lot of staycations lately. Kind of sad. Not the most fun things in the world unless you're spending them with the right people. But this year I'm actually going somewhere. Going to somewheres, actually. I thought I heard footsteps closing on me. It's kind of spooky. So I'm going somewhere, and I'm really, really excited about that. I am definitely looking forward to getting the time off, first of all, from work, but also looking forward to just getting a little different perspective for a few days. Actually, for close to a full week, I'll be getting a different perspective. So I'm looking forward to that. And I figured that since today is just, caving, well, not even caving, this is strip mining. This isn't even interesting like caving would be. This is just strip mining for resources, mostly cobble. I figured that I would talk to you guys about some of the favorite places that I have ever been in my life. And in the comments, you guys can tell me some of your favorite places that you've ever been. So let's go back to 6 years from this July. 6 years ago from this July to the last time that I left the state. And when I left the state last, I was going to Las Vegas with someone I consider one of my best friends in my entire life, one of the greatest people I've ever known, a man that I consider like a brother. I don't have any brothers, so he is like a brother to me. He and I went down there just for 3 or 4 days, 3 days I think, 4 days maybe. Went down there to just see the lay of land and have some fun together, and boy did we have a great time. One of the highlights of the entire trip was going down to the Star Trek The Experience. Yes, I'm a geek, I know. Don't have to tell me. That's entirely what I am. I know what I am. I know what I do. Star Trek The Experience, we spent, I think, 6 hours there that day. We went through the museum like about a total of about 5 or 6 times, ate in the restaurant that was there, and this place no longer exists, by the way. Star Trek The Experience closed several years ago because they moved it out of the Hilton because, well, life just isn't fair sometimes, and sometimes you lose things that you really like and that are really fun and awesome and inspirational, educational, and blah, 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 blah. Went through the museum a bunch of times, ate a lunch in the restaurant there, which was great because it had Star Trek themed things, and we were both in nerd heaven. It was just like, so excited. And the fact that I was there with one of my best friends in the world really, really helped the situation. I do remember one distinct point, and we went in July to Las Vegas. If you ever go to Las Vegas, go either during the summer or like, October-ish. Because those are the off seasons. October because there's really nothing happening in that month, and summer because it's hotter than the surface of hell in Las Vegas at that time. I remember at one point we were standing waiting for the monorail with a couple of frosty drinks in our hands. Not little glasses, mind you. This was a 1.5 foot long plastic cup full of strawberry daiquiri. It was delicious and so frosty. And I remember looking at a clock across the way when we were waiting for the monorail, and I saw that it was about 2 a.m. at this time, and the temperature was 93 degrees. 93 degrees at 2 a.m. That's Vegas for you. So that entire trip was just a fantastic thing, and we took a bunch of pictures. Something that I used to do back in the day, shortly after I graduated college and for a few years afterwards, was I would make photo albums with my friends. We'd pose ourselves into like various things, and I would put captions on them and put them on Facebook and everything like that. And, just general hilarity would ensue from that. And I did that for a long time, so we did a number of those throughout our stay in Las Vegas, and some of them turned out absolutely great, and they are some of my favorite memories to look back on and just go through those pictures. Some of my other favorite trips I've ever been on, another one was actually the couple years before Las Vegas. I went to Hawaii with a group of friends, and there's another story in this story that I will tell at another time when I deem the time is right to tell the story. But that story is about almost being killed by a volcano. But that's not this story, not this time. As interesting as that may be, haha, you don't get to hear it today. Another time, perhaps. But went to Hawaii with a big group of friends. Most of them had just graduated from college, and I was still a year away because I had transferred a few times, and I was not up to speed on the whole graduation process. So I tagged along with them, even though it was mostly their graduation party. It was just like, hi, and I'm coming too because I'm your friend, and I like Hawaii, and I like trips. So I tagged along, and it was a good time. We went to, first of all, me and 3 other people road tripped down from Colorado to San Diego overnight. If you've never made that sort of driving trip before, let me tell you, it's a long trip. And I got the worst driving shift possible. I got the shift from, let's see, where was it? It was from, I'm trying to remember, it was from western Utah. I-15, I think it is, where I-70 ends and I-15 collides, and they collide in Utah and some such and whatever. I got that shift from there to Las Vegas. Once again, Vegas makes an appearance in one of my trips. From there to Las Vegas. Oh, hi, random missing cobble, random block of lava, whatever. What was I saying? Oh, I got the driving shift from western Utah to Las Vegas. It's about a 3-hour drive, but my period of driving was from 11 p.m. to 2:30 a.m. So I had the most boring view possible because it's the desert at night, and I don't know if you've ever driven the desert at night, but there's nothing to see except night and nothingness. It's like driving through space without the benefit of having stars. One cool thing was, though, that I could see the glow from the Luxor Pyramid in Las Vegas. And for those of you who don't know what the Luxor is, basically it's the giant pyramid in Vegas, and it has an insanely bright light that you can apparently see from up to 60 miles away, because I did see it from 60 miles away. But that's getting sidetracked there. We went to San Diego, spent a couple days there, enjoying the place. One of my friend's grandmothers owned a condo there that was like the top floor, half of the top floor of a small apartment building. So it was a huge place. I could have stayed there the entire week and been happy. Stayed in San Diego a couple days, flew out to Honolulu after that, and went directly from Honolulu. Oh, hi, Iron. Nice to see you. Directly from Honolulu Airport over to the the Maui Airport, whose name I don't remember. It was the bigger of the two Maui airports, because there's two of them. We went to the bigger one. And we spent 3 days on Maui, and oh my god, Maui was just the best because it was so laid back and so relaxed and so peaceful. The same friend whose grandma owned that condo I mentioned a moment ago also owned a beach house within, a block of the beach. I think this lady was completely loaded. So that would explain that. So we walked down to the beach like 3 days in a row and spent all day there, just sitting by the water or snorkeling in the waves and just doing all sorts of fun stuff. And I could have stayed there the entire vacation, but I had arranged to go to other places. So we island hopped over to Oahu, which is the main island where Honolulu is. Stayed there at one of my friend's mom's house, who lives on the island. Stayed there for a day before flying to the Big Island, Hawaii. Went to Hilo, which is where volcanoes, that's the side you go to if you want to go see the volcanoes, which we did. Once again, different story. Haha, don't get to hear it today. Spent some few days there. I remember the day after going to the national park, Volcanoes National Park, it was just completely exhausted. I was just completely exhausted because we had gone hiking and had various adventures, which I'll mention another time. And the entire last day in Hilo, instead of going to the beach with some of the others, me and a couple of the girls I was traveling with, we decided to stay in the hotel room and watch a Mythbusters marathon. And I see some dark cave up here, so we're going to go take a look at that. Yeah, we just we just watched a Mythbusters marathon all day, and it was the best thing ever, because I don't think I'd seen many episodes of Mythbusters up to that point. So I was just like, hey, this show is great, and I don't want to move my legs today. This is it? Oh, hey, there's Iron, I guess. Hi, Iron. And then after that, we went back to Oahu and went to a beach house on the North Shore for several days, which was just as if the trip couldn't get any more incredible. It did with the whole going to the beach thing, and that was just so phenomenally, and there's more Dark Cave up here that I didn't see the first time when I was up here. So phenomenally fun. It was just going up there with friends and having an absolute blast, and just one of the best times of my life, just sitting on the beach for hours, soaking in the sun, drinking cool drinks. I remember at one point I called my parents from the beach because I had told them that if I got the chance, I was going to call them from the beach just so I could rub it in their faces a little bit that I was in Hawaii and they weren't. Because I'm a good son like that. I'm a nice boy. So nice. So yeah, did that, and then on the way back, after we left Oahu and flew back, me and a couple of these friends I road tripped with, we stopped off in Vegas for 2 days, and at that point I was so tired I could barely even think straight, so I pretty much just wandered around, went to buffets, and slept. I didn't really do any gambling, I didn't really do any sightseeing. I was too tired to do anything at all. So those are two of the favorite trips I've ever been on. Those were all with friends. But I've taken a ton of family trips as well. A bunch of family trips with my mom, my dad, and my sister. We would all pile into my dad's car. Usually, back in the day, it was a Subaru wagon. We traveled in that for years before my mom got her Jeep, and then we piled into that and traveled. But we went on many, 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 many road trips, and I could tell you about some of those if you guys are interested in hearing more. As you can tell, I enjoy talking about the subject and reminiscing about all the places that I've been to. But I'll tell you about the biggest trip that we've ever taken. It remains, to this day, the longest that I've ever been out of the state of Colorado. The longest consecutive period that I've ever been out of the state of Colorado. And that trip was our big East Coast trip. I think this is, gosh, when was this? No caps lock. There we go. I'm having trouble with my mouse, by the way. I know I mentioned this in the Cube Planet episode, but, it's all caps. But I'm having trouble with this mouse, and I had a second mouse, and I can't find it to save my life. So anyway, big East Coast trip. This was after my 7th grade year of middle school. And we're cutting into the next tunnel here. Cool. After 7th grade trip, we took a big road trip out east, and it took us 3 weeks, and that's the longest I've ever been out of the state of Colorado. Some of the highlights that we went to included Mammoth Cave in Kentucky, which is really cool. Shenandoah National Park in Virginia. We also stopped by in Washington, D.C. for a couple days, which was just, at the time, really cool because we got to go to a bunch of the museums and see the sights and walk the National Mall, and it was just one of my favorite places I'd ever been at that point in my life. You know, you're young and you see all those cool things, especially if you enjoy history like I do. It was really a treat. After D.C., we went up to Baltimore, and it's actually, Baltimore was kind of a crazy thing because we went to the aquarium. That was the only place that we stopped off in Baltimore. We went to the Baltimore Aquarium, which is a really big, really nice aquarium there. Stopped off there to see that, saw some really neat stuff. And while we were in the aquarium, our car got broken into. My mom's Jeep got broken into. They rifled through all of our luggage, which of course contained a bunch of dirty clothes, so ha-ha. Take that, thieves. Hope you enjoyed the dirty clothes you had to rifle through looking for valuables. But they broke the window to get in there and stole my dad's camera. And my dad was just so upset about that because my dad he's an amateur photographer, but he could be professional. Just the way that he takes pictures, he has such a great eye for taking pictures. And he was really upset because he had taken a bunch of pictures in D.C. and Shenandoah. I think it's Shenandoah. Maybe I'm thinking of Smoky Mountains. Shenandoah? Maybe. He'd taken a bunch of pictures of that, and he was upset. So that was fun. And then we went up further along the East Coast. We drove through New Jersey on our way to Connecticut. Got to see New York City from a distance, which I thought was really cool at the time. It was obviously the biggest city I'd ever seen at that point in my life, so that was kind of a neat experience there, just driving by that. Went up to Connecticut, visited aunt and uncle and some cousins, went camping up in Vermont, which was really nice too. Summer in Vermont is just beautiful. At least it is from the one experience I have doing that. One experience I actually have going there. And then after that, we swung our way through New York and visited another one of my favorite places I've ever been to, which is Cooperstown, New York, which, if you don't know, that is home of the Baseball Hall of Fame, the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. And that was just a very cool experience because, you know, I was pretty young. I was still pretty young at that point there, really into baseball, and I just loved reading about all the history and everything that was going on there, walking through the museum. You know, I could have spent a couple days there. I'm sure my dad could have as well. My mom and my sister, not so much. So we only spent one day there. But it was really neat. And then we swung through Ohio to visit relatives, spent a few days there. And then after that, it was finally the long journey back west across the empty plains of Kansas and Iowa, just full of corn. And by Kansas, I mean Nebraska. I mean, it's pretty much the same as Kansas, just, you know, slightly worse because, you know, it's Nebraska. But yeah, that was the biggest trip that I have ever been on. Like I said, the longest that I have ever been away from Colorado. 3-week long trip. Never taken a trip longer than that. Never been away from home longer than that. So it was a heck of a journey right there. But it was a lot of fun. It left me with a lot of memories of spending time with my family, which is the important part, really. That's what you want to look out for. That's what you want to do. You want to keep your memories. So yeah, those were the stories that I wanted to tell today. As you can see, I've got a lot of stories that I can tell you regarding family trips and such like that. If you guys are interested, if you find this interesting, me just talking about this sort of stuff, I can do this again sometime. Just do some sort of menial task and tell you stories about family or vacations or something like that. Ooh, it's 8 gold. Ooh, and there's some redstone underneath too. Oh, Kalu Kalay, happy day. Yeah, if these are subjects that interest you, then I would be happy to continue to tell you tales of my many journeys as a child. And if not, well, I may still tell some of them someday anyway, and you'll be out of luck. Ha 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 ha. Because Discord doesn't listen to anybody, especially himself. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this row here, and then I am going to bring you guys back in to show you the loot that I got, which I don't think is going to be very much loot, unfortunately. And then we're going to end the episode. Not an exciting episode today, unfortunately, guys, but hopefully you enjoyed listening to me talk about this sort of stuff. Because I enjoyed it, and it saves me from having to do a lot of work. Having to do a lot of prep work and everything like that. Like, I was thinking about doing the stands in the soccer stadium today. Because that is one of the plans. I'm probably going to do that in a couple weeks. Thought about doing that, but I was like, I really have a compressed timetable this week because of all the stuff I have to do to get ready for vacation, and I'm still trying to put a video out every day, so I kind of have to do it a little bit cheaper than I usually do, so I have to cut corners a little bit and do easy episodes. So, sorry about that, but it makes my life easier, and it ensures that I have videos to put out this week and next week too. So yeah, let me go ahead and finish this row down here, and I'll be right back with you guys when I'm done with that, and we'll end the episode. Alright, so there's the haul. Not a lot. Almost 2 stacks of coal ore, which is nice, I guess. Some iron. I always love iron. 19 redstone ore. 8 gold ore. No diamonds. Sad face. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. If you did somehow manage to enjoy this video and you want to give it a like, I would appreciate it. Tune in next week, because next week is going to be a bit of a special episode. Next week is episode 150 of Discord and Minecraft. Holy crap, 150 episodes. That is amazing. So in honor of that, and to welcome a bunch of my new subscribers here, I've actually gained, about 40 subscribers in the last couple months here, so welcome everybody. I'm General Discord, and I'm kind of weird. To welcome you guys, I am going to give you a tour of my Discord Minecraft world, and I'll also give you a tour of my creative test world. So I'm going to be giving you 2 world tours in one video. That'll be my 150th episode spectacular. That'll be next Thursday, June 26th, I think? Something like that? That sounds about right. So tune in for that. But once again, thanks so much for watching, guys. And if you enjoy this format, just let me know. If you like me telling stories like this, let me know in the comments. I figure it makes, decent, just background noise so you can mine or do whatever you want to do on your computer and just hear me chat at you. But yes, getting off track. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.